Hello, welcome to Spalding Cove Therapies. My name is Kristen Schwint, and I'm going to be your counselor today. What would you like for me to call you?
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah? Well, it's nice to meet you, Aaliyah. Thank you so much for coming. First thing is, do you know what confidentiality means?
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, it means that whatever you and I discuss today will stay between you and I, that whatever you share is confidential. But that also means that if you disclose that you are at harm to yourself or to someone else, maybe an older adult or a child, I'll have to report that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what brings you in today?
I'm having trouble with my mom.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
We're just having a really hard time getting along.
Okay. So what is the most important thing that you'd like to talk about today?
I guess trying to find a way to have a good relationship with my mom. I don't know how we're going to do that.
Okay.
So,
Another thing that I do is I take notes. Is that okay if I do that?
mm-hmm.
Okay. So having a better relationship with your mom. What else? Is that all you want to discuss? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll just tackle that first. Okay. My next question is, can you tell me what your expectation of today's session is?
I don't really know. I've never seen a social worker before.
Okay, then that's totally fine, and maybe as our sessions continue after this one, we'll be able to maybe clarify that question, and you'll be able to have more feedback from me. So another part of setting the agenda is I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what we're going to do today. So you discussed and said that you would like to have a better relationship with your mom, and then after that we'll kind of do a mood check, and then we'll move into maybe some goal setting, and then talk about CBT is the therapy that I use, and then also we'll talk about maybe some homework and some things that you'll be able to do between now and our next session.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So can you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how your week was last week?
Probably a 5 or a 6.
5 or a 6. Okay. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
I just have a lot going on right now. I'm very stressed out, and my mom is very overbearing and tries to be super involved with everything that I'm doing, but kind of in a way where she's like trying to dictate what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, which adds more stress.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So can you tell me, maybe give me one experience that happened this week, just so I can have a better picture of that.
So I had to go to work, and I work at a daycare, and there are different things that I'm responsible for while I'm there,
Mm-hmm.
and I had my boss talk to me about different expectations that she has for me, and I kind of had a conversation about it with my mom, and then she kind of just started like going on and on about the different like things that my boss said, and how I should respond to that, and how my boss was out of line for telling me different things when really he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of like a big old mess, where she thought that she knew what was going on, or she knew what was best, but really she had no idea what she was talking about.
Okay, I can see how that's frustrating,
Mm-hmm.
that she kind of stepped in where you think that maybe that she doesn't have a place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the problem that I'm hearing is she's coming into your situation, and you feel like that's maybe not what you would prefer. Is that correct?
It's just not her place. Like, she doesn't have any boundaries.
Okay. All right, so can you tell me what the boundaries should look like? How would you see that differently?
Well, I would like to have a relationship with her, but, you know, I don't live with her. I live on my own. I am an adult. I have my own life. I pay for my own things. And so I feel like I want my mom to be involved in my life, but I don't want her to be dictating my life because I am an adult. know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying. So what is something that you can do to maybe change that?
I've thought about talking to her about it, but I just feel like I would hurt her feelings. And sometimes I just think maybe it's not even worth it because I don't want to risk hurting her feelings.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we talked a little bit about some situations and things that you went through recently, and you mentioned that you're frustrated and that you are wanting to have a relationship and that you are maybe wanting to communicate and talk to her. Mm-hmm. And so what is a goal that we can set today? Since we have a short session, what is the goal?
I don't know. I guess the eventual goal would be for us to have boundaries set up. But I guess the first step in that would be to step in that direction would be to have a conversation.
Okay.
With her, or to work toward what I would say to her in that conversation. Maybe not actually have a conversation yet, because that's kind of scary.
Yeah, and we don't want to push anything there, but facilitating that, you getting ready for that conversation. Okay, well, that sounds great. You have some great ideas and things that we can work on today and work on the rest of our time together. So, really quick, have you ever heard of CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy?
No.
Well, cognitive behavioral therapy is where we take a person's thoughts and connect them with their emotions, because how you feel about something eventually connects into how you react. So what we're going to do is we're going to look, not today because today it's really short, but as our sessions go on, we're going to look at how you are feeling and then how you are reacting, and then go from there, because we can change how you feel about something, but we can't change how someone else feels and reacts. All we can do is work on ourselves, which is it's difficult and that's hard. But does that sound like it's something that we can work on together?
Yeah. So you said thoughts and emotions and then actions. Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm. So you have an automatic thought, and that creates an emotion, and then you react towards it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But that's in depth, and we will work on that together, and maybe we'll be able to get some more clarity there. Okay, so we talked a little bit about your mom and your frustrations, and you told me about your desire to change maybe some communication and work towards that. So, and you mentioned too that you want to work on some skills for communicating better. Mm-hmm. So what is maybe homework assignment? What is something that you could do to help yourself between now and then? We can discuss it next week to facilitate that conversation.
Maybe having some kind of plan or like some kind of thought about what I'm going to say, or maybe practicing what I'm going to say to her.
Okay.
Like maybe having it, like writing it out and kind of really thinking about what I want to say, because, sometimes if you get really upset, you'll say something and then say something you don't mean, or say something you shouldn't say because you're upset. And I feel like that conversation would be very emotionally heavy.
Yeah.
So I might end up saying something that I don't want to say if I don't have it already kind of laid out in my mind.
Yeah, that sounds great. You mentioned maybe practicing and writing it down. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you could do? What's a specific thing that you could do if you were to write it? What would that look like?
You mean other than just like writing it in a journal?
Yeah,
like
writing in a journal. Is that something that maybe you could do? Maybe do a one journal entry, maybe something like that. Does that sound like something that you could do? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So since our session is really short today, can you just give me some feedback of something that you'd like to see differently next time we meet?
I don't know. This was kind of just like us getting to know each other, and so I feel like next week is going to look different already because I'll be coming back with stuff and you'll have more ideas for me. So,
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate your time, and it was great meeting you. And I'll see you next week.
thank you.